up and don't let me pull them down really hard. Pull, pull. Okay, like I shouldn't have to pull that hard, but if you're running and you don't want your foot to go like this, it needs to be that strong. Rolling just helped you, right? So you can see how we've created a protocol for you. Glutes, piriformis, lower shin. Everybody always looks at this guy in the back. So if you have low back pain, do you just look at your back, or do you think maybe this side might want to be a little bit stronger too, right? Every area has a stability muscle, right? Here's yours for around the ankle, and you lost that. So what do you think gets tighter or hurts an Achilles or hurts a foot? See how it all ties in? Achilles, foot, calf, how it all it just kind of answers all the injuries we get in the lower body, doesn't it? With weak glutes, a piriformis that is compressing the nerve, strains like this. And all you have to do is roll the foot. Okay? Not yet. But that said, you at least have something to do, so that what it is now you have to help it recover. So you give it support first. Remember, phase one, you have to give it support so that you stop breaking down first. And then you have a game plan that if before you go for a run, you did all that, probably going to break down less through a run, keep you running. Okay, so we strategize. So it's not about one particular thing, it's about an approach. It's about a whole functional lower body approach to making your muscles work, and you couldn't do that with strengthening or stretching, could you? See, this is why I love rolling, because it fits this void that we've always had. I ask so many of my clients, I'm like, could you imagine if we didn't have rollers or what we did before them? Right, because everybody would just stop running. You don't have to. You can definitely prevent these injuries by keeping on it. Yep.
So for the lazy roller,
Yes.
or the person who's got like 2 minutes before you head out the door to have a run,
Yes.
what's the most important thing we should roll?
Okay, what would you think, given how I showed you how everything contributes to everything else? Glutes. Glutes and piriformis. I always pair things. You should always pair them because it helps you not to forget about what you're doing, but they go hand in hand. Because if you just did your glutes and piriformis, that would help you to align your leg when you run, and it would get your hamstrings, calves, and feet working. That's a pretty powerful thing before a run. So that's what I would do.
So where is my piriformis?
Don't see. I don't even want to. We could get into that. So you don't even worry about that. You worry about the body position that I just showed you. Don't even think about it.
Turn the roller sideways?
Same side hand toward the opposite foot.
Gotcha.
Pop your chest a little bit. Relaxed crab walk position. Don't even think about where it is, because then you're going to go like this, and where is it? Don't think about it. That's why I make up these body positions, so that you don't have to think about it, because I've already thought about it. So you just get on the roller and you make it work. But I will tell you, any other roller but this roller for your piriformis, it's not going to work. I've tested them all. I've tried. I do a lot of this pre-post muscle testing as I've developed what I speak to you about. The only one I've ever had make it work is this, especially if you want a longer lasting effect. And I'm just trying to be real with you guys. You know, it's not like Travel Roller pays me to say, can you say this? Because you bring me any roller and I'll test it for you. Okay? That's just what I've done. Okay? It's just because it has to work. And I don't want you guys thinking, if I go roll, you know, I'm going to get these results. I just kind of, because I showed you, right? With the traditional roller that a lot of people have, whether it's the marbly one or this one that's maybe they say reinforced on the inside so it doesn't miss form shape, it doesn't matter because it's not getting a therapeutic effect. So for me, it's pointless. Unless you want to lay on it, that's fine, but go for it.
Near the end of a race, I was trying to
Thank
do
you. Enjoy.
sub 2 hour,
Yeah.
and I didn't make it because I had to stop and get the cramp out.
Yep.
The calf and then this muscle here.
Yes.
Cramped at the same time.
Yep.
And I had to stop every street light post and try to get that out so I could
Yes.
finish the race.
Yep.
Is there something you can do without a roller in the middle of a race to get you through?
Like
that?
you could start doing some self muscle release. You could. You'd have to know what to do. That's where if you have guidance from somebody, like for me, I teach a lot of people how to roll and how to do muscle work on themselves because I'm not always there, and it gets them better results faster, right? So once you learn how to do those things, then yes, like, you know, say you could do that and then you could just start doing some muscle work on that. That's all you could do. But really the goal, don't get to that point. Right? That's what a roller should do, is you should never have got to that point in the first place. You should have been in your program making sure that your body was healthy going into the run. You were not functional going into it. Your body broke down. Just because you run long distances doesn't mean your body breaks down. Absolutely not. A lot of people get through, feel great. The difference is your body's not working well. And so you have to fix that. Okay?
What's
Yep.
the optimal time frame for rolling before your run and then after?
Okay, so before, it depends on how long you've been rolling for. Because the longer a period that you've been rolling for, the longer it's gonna last. Does that make sense? Because if you start rolling 2 days before a race, it's not gonna last. It'll last you maybe 10, 20 minutes into the race. And you don't wanna mess with that because all of a sudden, once you have a shut-off point with inhibition, it can be traumatic. You don't wanna get there. So ideally you build up to a race so that you just roll as soon as you can. Some people have to go when they've traveled and go from their hotel to the race and it's like an hour till they race. But if you're healthy going into it, you shouldn't concern yourself so much. And afterwards, as soon as you can. Because what they've shown from a massage perspective is that it decreases cortisol and it helps to build muscle. Cortisol is what breaks down and we do that during racing. So from a nutrition standpoint for me, to optimize a runner's health, I have them doing things throughout so that I manage what their cortisol is doing and just making sure you're hydrated. But afterwards, the sooner you do, if there's any strain, you restore function to support the recovery. Because all the research about massage looks at how it's able to support the recovery. Yeah. Okay? But it's logical stuff, isn't it? It's just stuff that you haven't heard because, you know, people out there just don't put it together. So that's what I love to do for you guys. That's why I'm here as a resource. That's why I like to come to these talks, just so you guys open your mind and start to realize, oh, I don't have to live with nagging injuries. There's stuff that I can do by myself because you can do it more than I can do it. You can do it twice a day, which is the average if you're trying to clear something up, or daily if you're on a good maintenance schedule. But think about how less your body breaks down. Everybody wants to run in, you know, however long they want to, right? And you can. You just have to be healthy to do it. Yep.
Chronic shin splints.
Okay.
Focus, what part should we people?
Everything that I've discussed for the foot. Right? Just because you got to focus on here. Now, keeping in mind that, you know, when you talk about shin, are you talking about here or what we'd call medial tibial stress syndrome?
Lower inside and...
Lower inside of the calf. So that's not shin splints. It is a form of shin splints, but that would be a calf issue. So again, that's a calf, Achilles foot sort of thing. So exactly what we had discussed earlier. Now, if it was the front, everything we discussed, except also adding in the upper half of the shin. Yep. You can see how it fits, how there's always those basic things that you hit, such as the glutes, the piriformis, you know, maybe the lower half of the shin, because for many of you it would be strain inhibited, and then wherever you're symptomatic. Symptomatic spots are still good to hit, but just don't be misled by them. They're there, you know, because they broke down, because they started to fail when something else caused that. So look at the root of what's going on. Ask yourself why. If somebody tells you something like you're tired or you're weak, well, you should say why. Ask why. If they don't know the answer, find someone that does. Okay? Any other questions? Yeah?
Do you have a specific injury for ankle injury? Or is it the same as
It depends. What is your ankle injury? Like a sprain?
No, I broke.
You broke it? So perfect. For me, that goes along with a sprained ankle because it's very similar. It's just an extension of it. So you can't really do a lot for the ligaments, but what you can do is support the ligaments. So what happens is it was probably like a sprain break, like you twisted it. Is that? Okay, so a lot of things. So absolutely, so you have to restore, you have to assume that all of those muscles around there became strain inhibited, so you have to clean them all up. So you would cover the entire shin, the muscle out here called your peroneals, because you will guaranteed have those weak and inhibited, and I would also do the calf just to support it. So I would do all that plus everything else that we talked about.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to see that muscle go strong?
Sure.
Come on up. See, I could do this all night. We could pick anything and I can show you what it's going to do and how we're going to pick rolling above anything else. Yes?
You said that you had an app?
I do. We'll talk about that. So, yeah, I'll talk about it now before we get in. So I have an app. What it is it's just for Android and iPhone, and it's just all the videos of everything I talk about for all the muscles in the body. We're having a new launch of the upper extremity, shoulder down, but head to toe, everything is there of what I would explain in video. So
Thank you.
foamrollerapp.com. There are cards up here, so you guys can take it. Don't have to remember. There's cards up here that have it. I always have it for you guys. But if you just go to foamrollerapp.com, it'll just take you so that you guys don't have to worry about the name. It makes it easy, right? foamrollerapp.com. And that's just your resource to be like, oh, how's this? There's an anatomy guide. You pick it. Just shows a video. Okay, which one? Bring it on up. So what happens is we have this one on the outside, right? This one you're talking about. But the problem is that's still connected by the nerves that feed your calves as well. I don't want to get too much more anatomically, but it's still affected by that sciatic nerve. Okay, so for you, that muscle has to pull you here. So it's going to stabilize the ankle. If that's not working, it's going to really compromise how you're going to recover because it's not stable, right? So if you turn the toe out, hold there, work this muscle. Don't let me push it this way, okay?
Oh.
Okay, sit back for me. Sit back. There we go. Put that on and stack over top. And just sit back and relax, be lazy. It's all good. Okay, and all I want you to do is just turn your hips so that you keep turning this lower leg, just like that. And all I want you to do is from just right up here down to the ankle, go through it 2 times with your little shimmies. So now I don't want you bending the knees. I want you to rock on your butt. Yes. Yep. Keep the foot turned out. And then just go through it. And I want you to go through the whole muscle. And we're going to see what happens. Any other questions while she's just going through this? Yep. Right there. So that's a very good question. That is what we call the sartorius muscle. Everybody says this is my hip flexor. And do you know what we think of technically? The hip flexor is the psoas muscle. You cannot roll the psoas muscle. So there's no point in even talking about that. But you feel this muscle that's tight. And for many of you, that's the cause of everything. Okay? I just don't want to get too complicated for you. I can keep going. But this muscle here is usually where everything results from. Because this is your sartorius. And you know what you guys do? A lot of this. I know, but you know what hurts that? A lot of this. Okay? So people come to me and they're like, I stretch my hip flexor. I say, stop. That's causing your issues because you are strain inhibiting this. What muscle is right here? There is none. It's all tendons of muscles that are around it. So why do you want to feel the stretch here at your tendons? You don't. What you feel there that's sore is that you're straining it. That's what's going on. So what happens is, as a result, I'll just connect the dots a little bit for you. This gets strain inhibited, as we've discussed with many of these other muscles. What happens is, what's the compensator? Psoas in here. So that gets tight. And unfortunately, the nature of the psoas is as soon as it gets tight, it compresses on the nerve roots where it attaches to the spine, and it squishes those nerves, like the piriformis squishes your sciatic nerve, makes your glutes go weak. You have to piece it all together. Again, it's all in order. This is a problem. If you have this, you have everything else. It's all connected. There's no guesswork around it. It's automatic. As soon as I see this strain inhibited, I know what's happened. So you could call any other injury, and it's very straightforward. If a runner is to roll anything as part of their program, it's right here. Yep.
I have that.
Yep.
It's really bad right now.
Everybody does, yes.
Yeah. I went for a massage and almost cried because it was like down here.
Okay.
It is just like on fire.
Okay. Yeah, but that's also telling you that, especially if it's in here, your glutes don't work because that's your compensator. Your inner thigh, as you're buckling in, guess what has to pull up tight? Your inner thigh. So it's all symptoms. Don't chase symptoms. Fix function. Yes. Yes. Wrist, how you doing time-wise? You good, time-wise? Okay, I just want to make sure. I'll wrap up before you got to go. Okay, are you good?
I hope so.
Okay. Turn the foot out. Push your little toe. Everybody watching, by the way, because this will be good, because she broke this, and this is where people say, right away, if I sprain an ankle, what do? I say roll to your tolerance, all the muscles around. You can't fix that sprained ligament, but you can fix the muscles right away. Okay? Straighten it up. Turn your little toe out, push into my hand, and that is rock solid. Think that might help your ankle recovery? I know, I get all that. But you think that would help? So if you rolled this lower half of your shin and there, probably help speed up your rehab because it stabilizes the ankle joint that you need to recover on. Yes, speeds it up a lot.
So stiff on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just because you still have dysfunction. If you haven't recovered, you haven't restored function from an issue.
And that's where it hurts, is right along.
Absolutely. Go roll that. You got it.
Thank you.
Okay, yep,
So I have a pronation thing.
yep.
So could rolling repair my pronation?
We'll talk later. Come see me after. We'll get into that just because I want to do a little wrapping up. Does anybody have any just like small questions, or does that pretty much cover everything? Okay.
Does ART do the same thing as rolling? Is that why my ART says if I rolled, I wouldn't have to see them?
Yes, absolutely. That's why for my treatments, I have people rolling. I'm only there as a guide to ensure success and function. Absolutely. The only thing people rely on me for is psoas work, because you can't roll psoas, which squishes the nerve that feeds your glutes, and you know causes the chain reaction. So as soon as your glutes work, it's all rolling from there. Absolutely. I don't want to take away from it, but you just need guidance, and you need us to do what you're not doing, and just making sure, you know, if you're getting ART, that should only take 3 to 4 treatments on your psoas before your glutes work. If it's not, what's that?
He doesn't want to see me.
Good,
more than
but make sure that it's coming around functionally. The problem is you just assume the treatment's going to do it. You got to guarantee it. Okay?